Jam. Toon Jam.
Hello, super sleuths, and welcome to Toon Jam podcast. I am Matt.
And I'm J-Man.
And today we are talking Carmen Sandiego, thief of the night, so to speak. Hence my quiet start. You weren't expecting it. You had your eardrums at the ready, as you well should usually. But so yes, Carmen Sandiego. Let me tell you a bit about Carmen Sandiego, should you not know. Carmen Sandiego is a Canadian-American animated action adventure streaming television series. It's very, very niche category, I should think. With educational elements based on the media franchise of the same name, created by Broderbund. The series is produced by Horton Mifflin Harcourt, with Wild Brain serving as the production company, and contains a serialized look at Carmen's backstory that is told from her perspective. Serving as an origin story for the fictional thieving villain of the same name, this is the fourth Carmen Sandiego television show after the PBS game shows Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego and Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego, and the Fox animated series Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego. It is also the first Carmen Sandiego related show since the end of Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego in 1999. So if needs be, we could go back and visit many Carmen Sandiego shows.
Yeah,
we've got a whole plethora here. We've found a tap. The series sees many characters drawn from the franchise's 35-year history. Carmen Sandiego herself, who debuted in the original World video game, the chief who took her current from the World game show, player Zack, and Ivy, who were featured in the Earth animated series, Chase Deveneaux, who debuted in World Detective, and Julia Argent, who was featured in Treasures of Knowledge. The first season was released on January 18th, 2019 on Netflix. A second season was released on October the 1st, 2019. A third season was renewed and in an announcement on April 24th, 2020, and was released on October 1st. On October 2nd, 2020, it was announced that it was renewed for a fourth season. So clearly it did very well on opening day. Which was later announced to be the final season, which was released on January 15th, 2021. So there are 4 seasons, 32 episodes, and 1 special, all in all. So it does finish. It has a huge spanning history that I must say, I had how much of like, before I give somewhat. It's not even a fun fact, it's just something about it. Had you seen it before? Did you know much about Carmen Sandiego?
No, like I think I'd watched some of the the cartoon in the 90s or whatever, like a few odd episodes, and that was pretty much it. But I'd seen nothing of the new one.
Right, so there are many video games. There is a apparently an annual event, Carmen Sandiego Day. There are book series, comic book series, there's an album, there's board games, obviously the many TV series that we've talked about, a concert series.
What?
Yeah. And that was the one I want to say, a couple of planetarium shows.
Hey?
It's big.
How does a planetarium show work?
I guess
like where in the universe is Carmen Sandiego? Yeah,
I think so. I think, to be honest, and I might be wrong, it's like it is an educational thing,
right?
Quite popular, I think, in America and maybe also in Japan. But we don't really get it over here, so I guess it's kind of like a, Arthur type thing, or Richard Scarry, something like that, where it's educational and film for kids, but it has a whole massive back catalogue, sort of starting in the 80s. It's older than us, let's just say that. 85 was the first video game.
Oh man.
So yeah, it's got a huge history. We didn't know much about it.
No.
Classic Brits.
Ignorant.
Ignorant to the world around them. Yeah, little island.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we know little, so we're going in fresh.
Yeah.
This was new to us. Let's see how it fares. But before we dig in, what's Twitter got to say?
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of fans on Twitter. We've got Rena Bassett, who says, Carmen Sandiego is literally my comfort show, and the reboot is literally so good. And then there's a few crying emojis afterwards, so it seems like quite an emotional tweet.
Yeah.
That one.
Is there an extreme love for Carmen Sandiego there?
Yeah, really just came to Twitter to be like, I love this show. It's really, really good.
That's a positive review.
Yeah. We've got Robotics. That's a pretty good name. Didn't realise. The original Robotics on Twitter, everyone. Who says, where my one-syllable last name peeps at, no one can know our pain. Not being able to insert your own name into the Carmen Sandiego theme song.
Oh yeah, that's true. I am a one-syllable surname.
Yeah.
And tell you what, I know your pain.
That's it. I mean, I think it looks like it's tried to be as inclusive as possible, this show, but still, those one syllable last name
You've
people.
got to chuck in middle names, maybe throw in, maybe if you've got a nickname, add that to the middle of your name.
Yeah.
And then put it together. That's another good technique.
Look at this.
Find a way.
Yeah. You've rehearsed this already. You've done it a few times. Had to find a way.
This is not a new problem. This is us single syllables suffer through this. So yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Who knew there was a network of single syllable people who loved Carmen Sandiego? They've just been trying to sing the song with their name.
The amount of singles nights I've gone to that haven't been what I wanted them to be. Unreal. But yeah, I know your pain.
We've got Jerryez, Harrier, I don't know how you pronounce that. My bad. Who says, I become incredibly upset when someone doesn't tell me that there's a new season of Carmen Sandiego on Netflix. Like, why, the expletive, would you keep that information from me?
Oh man, so that's like, this cat is big into it.
Yeah.
And
for some reason, I don't know if they've got like a notification thing where they get told about other shows that have new seasons.
They rely on other people, clearly.
Yeah, that's the information they need. Is like, when is there a new season of Carmen Sandiego? Like,
well, I can tell you, there's not one on the horizon.
Well, I mean,
that
there could be up to 3 times where they could have been incredibly upset at this point.
Yeah.
But no longer.
Maybe 4 if you count the special.
Yeah. Oh man. Wouldn't want to be in the vicinity when that happens.
I tell you what, friend. If I find out, you'll hear.
I'll let you know.
If there's something new coming, I'll mention it.
We've got Just Dominic, who says, I don't care what anybody says, but in my opinion, Carmen Sandiego is the best Netflix series ever on Netflix.
That is a review.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, everyone says like, yeah, it's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, but does Dominic say that it's the best Netflix series ever on Netflix? It's
almost over 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Because you can watch something and it has 100%, but it might not be. As we've learned, there are a lot of shows on Rotten Tomatoes with 100%
that share that 100% mark.
Yeah. This is like 101.
Yeah.
Impressive.
That is a review. And then finally, slightly different tone, we've got Toony, T0ENI, who says, reminded me that Carmen Sandiego Netflix show exists should be a war crime.
Oh, so that's the opposite.
Yeah.
And a war crime at that.
Yeah, that's pretty intense. Pretty.
Yeah.
Just the reminder that it's there as well. You know, we've got one person who's like, please remind me that there's a new season, and then somebody else who's like, don't ever remind me that it exists.
This is like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, I mean, you're on scary ground when you're trying to tell people about the Carmen Sandiego show, I think.
So at least now we can answer as to why someone wouldn't remind you.
Yeah. Because
they could be charged with war crimes.
This is it. So yeah, I think we've seen we've run the gamut of what can happen when informing folks of Carmen Sandiego. I mean, there's a whole landscape there that I just didn't know existed.
Yeah. But going over those reviews, it's mainly positive.
Mainly positive, yeah.
One extremely negative.
Mm.
But the rest, what I would say, were extremely positive.
Yeah, like best Netflix series ever on Netflix. Yeah. That's pretty impressive because it's not
like the best ever Netflix series to war crime.
Yeah. That should be the scale of Rotten Tomatoes. Oh no, it got certified war crime.
That could be, Justice League. So, just throwing that out there. I like to be controversial every now and again. Okay.
And I do pizza away.
Boom, 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 boom. Carrying on. Just now, I've upset some people.
Mm-hmm.
On IMDb, it has a 7.9 rating.
Okay.
And then Rotten Tomatoes is an interesting one. As an average audience score, the overall show has 94%.
Right.
It doesn't have It doesn't have an actual critic rating for the entire series. However, naturally, as we've started to realise, they have separate series.
Right.
Now, so I've looked at season 1, which is what we watched,
mm-hmm.
And it has a 93% critics rating.
Mm.
With an 88% audience score, so slightly lower for the first season than the overall. But as we've discussed before, people might jump on and off, and the ones that liked it less would jump off after season 1. So that kind of makes sense. So either way, it's a very high score.
Yeah.
Not quite 100%. However, I'd say if you added some of the reviews we've done today, that would be about right.
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, because war crime is pretty low, so it's going to
be yeah, you'd like to think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So the first episode, I mean, it was a good introduction to Carmen Sandiego for those that didn't know, like us.
Yeah.
I feel like I got an idea of what was going on in the Carmen Sandiego world. As someone that was, all I'd seen was sort of, the pictures for it.
Yeah.
But she is, from this episode, it's like a very espionage-y. I wasn't sure if she was a spy at the start.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, she's like a female James Bond. But no, she's actually the opposite. She's like a female James Bond villain.
Yeah.
But you're still rooting for her.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't say as to how educational the first episode is, if that's what it's going for.
Yeah, I didn't feel educated really. I think like the main thing that I was thinking of from the get-go was how are they going to turn this around so it's not teaching kids that stealing is cool.
Yeah.
Which I don't think it really did in the first episode.
Oh no, I as an adult now believe that stealing is cool.
Yeah, they made it look really cool. And
Um,
there's a whole stealing school you can go to and everything.
Yeah. But to be fair, she never stole off, anyone personally.
Right.
So it was big things, like, museum artifacts and things like that. That's what we saw, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The policeman chased Devereaux, Interpol, a buffoon. As policemen often are in these kind of shows.
Yeah.
But it's not the first time we've seen, this kind of thing, is it? Like cool thieves. It's not a new.
No. I mean, obviously, Carmen Sandiego predates us, as we've.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not new. But now that we're in a time where it's like, you want to kind of be aware of what you're putting out there. It's like, oh, okay, still making it look pretty cool. I mean, maybe it progresses as the show goes on, but episode 1,
I'm saying that like of the thieves, she's the only one that you really liked.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them there, and the rest are like, you can see they're villains. And like you say, there's progression. I will say, it felt like they packed loads of stuff into the first episode without it feeling like too busy.
Yeah, I had to check the time towards the end because I was like, how long has this been going on for? Like, it felt like I'd watched like a feature-length film. There's like, we had like the opening, and like the origin was like lengthy. There's like the whole catch-up, and then like it was like the start of a film with.
It was. I mean, though it wasn't educational in the traditional sense, I'm well educated on Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah.
Which I think it did pretty well. I was quite impressed about how much it packed in, and it didn't feel slow. I mean, it felt like, whoa, like this feels like I've had loads going on here.
Yeah.
But not in a way that was like, slow down. And I had to pull myself away from watching the next episode because obviously we had to record.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was I mean, it ends on a cliffhanger. It's a part 1. I don't know if it's a 2-part episode. I imagine so. I
think it is. Yeah, I think this is like the origins is like a 2-parter sort of thing.
Yeah,
so.
It was 30 minutes long, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I suppose we're quite used to 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
And it sounds like it's not much difference, but when you think about it, that's like half the length of a 20-minute show added on.
1.5, guys. It's
150%
extra.
150% Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Best show on Netflix. But yeah, it is. I guess that's kind of why it's almost surprising. The characters, was there anyone that stood out perhaps as either really good or really annoying for you?
I found her guy in the seat quite annoying. The player, his name was, which I thought was also kind of weird for a kid. But I think he's voiced by like Finn Wolfhard from like Stranger Things or whatever, which is like, you'd think that would sort of give him some familiarity. And it sort of did. It was like, I kind of know his voice, but it was also, I think the character just was kind of annoying for some reason.
It's just that classic like nerd in a box, isn't it?
Yeah, like they're kind of bit of a know-it-all, and I think the whole point of that character was a bit like tropey anyway. It was just they were at a computer screen, a million times a second typing skills, and just pretty much like hacked into the mainframe essentially whenever necessary. Which doesn't mean anything to anyone. And I'm pretty sure all the stuff on the screen was just like symbols of nondescript kind. So it's not exactly like I wasn't educated on how to computer code by watching Carmen Sandiego.
No, but that might not necessarily be a bad thing, because you don't want to be raising a load of hackers and thieves.
Well, yeah, true. But I mean, the thieves part we might be raising if Carmen Sandiego doesn't, the plot doesn't change dramatically.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because
I liked that he was even though he was hacking, he was like, who do I need to talk to tell you that, you need a better system?
Yeah, so he's like a white hat
Yeah.
hacker. So they're kind of the good guys in the quotes or whatever. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
they are the good guys in general. Like, that's how your computer systems are. They're like the red team. So they find faults in stuff. For those who don't know, everyone's like, yeah, we know what that is. But for those who don't know,
exactly. I'm up there with those that were like, I think that's what it is, but I don't know.
Yeah, so there's people out there who they find the exploits and the problems with software, and essentially like find what's going to break or what is broken within code, and then they inform the people who make that and say, like, look, here's something that could go wrong, and they get compensated for finding that, and then they can fix it ahead of time. So that's how a lot of stuff. The systems and stuff that you'd be using, it's like that's how they got better, because someone was out there and was like, oh, there's a fault here, there's a hole, and I'll let you guys know, as opposed to the other guys who are like, oh, I found that exploit and now I'll use that to get people's credit card information or whatever. So
yes, the are they black hats?
Yeah, the black hats.
There you go. Learn. Now we're educational.
That's it.
That's what it's all about. So in a way, we're already seeing the education feed in.
We did learn a lot about how to, typical thievery though as well, like pickpocketing, how to bait and switch, like how what was
origami, super useful.
Origami as a in preparation for pickpocketing, so that your fingers can be like nimble, increase your dexterity.
I have read that later on she starts only stealing from the other thieves.
Right.
Spoiler alert.
Oh.
Tell you, I say spoiler alert after I've spoiled.
Yeah. Big
Yeah.
So we've learned how not to do spoiler alerts in today's episode.
It's all about education today, guys.
It's all about education.
All about education.
You've got to learn. Sometimes you have to fail to learn. That's just how it works.
And that's how I teach.
Yeah.
I fail, so you learn.
So, but I mean, even so, even though morally that was all questionable, some of those bits were quite fun. Watching them like the training montages were pretty cool.
I tell you what, I really liked the art style.
Yeah.
This reminded me of one of the, is it the Bombay, Copenhagen films we've watched?
Yeah.
Like the many of them. It had that sort of European flair to it.
Yeah.
Which I think fits it really well.
Yeah, it worked.
Especially for saying, they start in France, and, it seems to be very France orientated, at least in the first episode. A lot of the characters, it is a worldwide sort of cast, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's cool. It's very interesting, and I thought it was very entertaining. Yeah,
it kept you, for saying it did feel like there was a lot going on. That pace wise, it was good, and that there was as a character, I think you saw some good progression. There was enough history there to be like, oh, okay, you can see why she does it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like she was someone good, and then someone came along like, hey, you should try and steal, that's way cooler, and then she's like, cool, I'm Steve now, professional. It's more that like she didn't know any different. She grew up amongst those people.
She knew.
Which I guess is something to be said along the way. Like, everybody's culture is different, everyone is raised somewhere different, so their perspective may be different to yours. So something to take on board. So that was good.
I think as well, and this is one for those that are playing Toon Jam Bingo at the moment. The intrigue.
Oh.
You know me. I like the intrigue, and it came in spades. Here, I would say there's loads of stuff where you're kind of like, Oh, so someone picked her up when she's a baby. Who was that? I don't know. Her best mate at school is now her enemy. Why is that? I don't know. She got out and became seemingly the world's best thief. How did that happen? I just don't know.
Yeah.
The teachers, one of them seems to be against her. Why? I don't know.
Don't know. Yeah.
Don't know. Intrigue.
Why does she wear such bold colours and such a huge fedora in preparation to stealing stuff? We don't know.
We don't know. We don't know. And that is, I love a bit of intrigue. Educational, intriguing, exciting.
Yeah, it definitely was an action adventure. Yeah, there was a lot of action going on.
Okay, well, we've talked about it. Shall we move on and review about it?
Yes. Hi kids. Hi, I'm Mr. Pockets, and I'm here to substitute for Mr. Johnson, who's out sick today. And now I know I'm not your normal teacher, and he's got his own way of doing things, and I have my own way of doing things. So let's see if you guys can get on board with the way I like to teach physical education. So let's have someone do some examples of what we're gonna do. So you there, what's your name, son?
Oh, hi, I'm Johnny.
Oh, hi, Johnny. You look like a great kid. You look a great kid.
Thank you, Coach.
So, Johnny, tell us, show us what you've been doing on the ropes over here.
Oh, sure. We've been climbing the rope and ringing the bell at the top.
That's great, Johnny. So what I want you to do is I want you to climb up the rope and then suspend yourself on the rope on the way back down. Like, let's pretend, okay, guys, what we're gonna do a lot of pretending in class today. Let's pretend, for example, that you're about to take a Ming vase from a museum, and you're suspending yourself from a cable in the ceiling that has an exploit, and you can't touch the floor because the pressure sensors will go off and the police will be here in 45 seconds.
That seems a real, I wouldn't take anything from a museum, Coach.
Well, some museums, the museums are for the public, and so, if it's public property, then surely it's yours to take. So let's see what you can do, Johnny.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, going up the rope, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good. Good form, yeah. Oh, okay. That's fantastic. He's got the bell. That's great. Now, careful on the way down, Johnny. Remember, don't touch the floor, because the police will be here.
My hands.
Ooh.
I'm at the bottom, Coach. I think I'm touching the floor. I'm nearly.
You're just suspended. That's great. And you can come down. That's great. Ooh. That was good. That was great, Johnny. Thank you for doing that. Just be careful now. You look like you strangled yourself a little bit there. Okay, so for our next example, we're gonna pretend that for example, you imagine you're in a hallway. Okay, it's a very narrow hallway, and on each side of it are a bunch of laser beams that you just can't touch, because those will trigger an alarm and the armed forces will be here in about 60 seconds. And so what I need you to do is use the gymnastics that you've learned and make an S curve all the way through these imaginary lasers, okay? And you can't go out of it because, the people will turn up and you will be shot upon. So can you do that for me, Johnny? Do you want to?
Like a secret agent?
Yeah, kind of like a secret agent, Johnny. The kind you see in films. But remember, you know, in the films, if they touch the lasers, it all goes bad.
Yeah.
Okay, Johnny. So it's up to you. You can't touch the lasers.
Okay, I can't see any lasers though.
I need you to do the perfect test, girl. And if you don't, then there's going to be bad things.
Okay. Here goes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. He's got it. All right. Ooh. Oh.
I win it myself, Coach.
You did good, Johnny. You did good. You can stand back up now. Are you okay, son?
The lasers?
No. You went right through. That was great. That was fantastic.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, and finally, so sometimes when, for example, if you are stealing some things and you have to go through a checkpoint, sometimes you need to take those things and put them on your body somewhere where other people can't find them. So I need you to take this ping pong ball, take the ping pong ball off the side, and put this in your back pocket. And when I mean your back pocket, I know your gym shorts don't have pockets. You know what pocket I'm talking about. Can you do that for me, Johnny?
I don't think I should be stealing anything. Coach, I've been told that's a bad thing.
Now, you're right, Johnny. Stealing is bad, but it's also very, very cool. Don't you want to be cool, Johnny?
Yeah, I guess I really want to be cool.
So if you want to be cool, you gotta follow the cool kids. And trust me, Johnny, I'm pretty cool.
Okay.
So can you do that for me, Johnny?
What?
That's right. Take the ping pong ball and put it up your up the spout, right? Pretend it's. Sometimes you need to take a precious ruby or a jewel or an ancient artifact, and you need to kind of pop it up there so that nobody can find it.
You mean like what? Like tuck it into my underwear?
No, Johnny. I mean, you need to pop it in the place. You know where the chocolate comes out.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, let's move on to our reviews. Here at Toon Jam, we have a 3-point rating system that goes as follow. Thumbs up, being cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Thumbs down, education. What education?
We're ignorant Brits.
We the Brits. All right. And shaky middle, this being an educational show. So good, bad, unsure about that. Okay, so Carmen Sandiego, season 1, episode 1, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like I didn't know about the wealth of stuff behind Carmen Sandiego. So I mean, I don't know whether I think the show is a good intro. So I don't think you need to know all that other stuff going in, because it does a really good job of telling you, what the character's about, who she's involved with, and what's going on. I think in general, there's a lot of thievery happening, and I mean it does have like a moral kind of questionability of like what is the takeaway for the kids on this, because they do make stealing stuff look really fun and exciting. As the whole training montages make it look like, oh, that would be good to learn. Oh, maybe I'll learn that. Check out some YouTube videos of how to pickpocket people or whatever. But I mean, otherwise, it is a pretty fun show. Pacing is really good. The art style is nice. It makes it look different from a lot of the other stuff that's about. The characters look cool. There's some cool designs, as well as like the environments are really nice as well. But I think for me, gripe-wise, I think there's a few characters that were kind of annoying. Like other than Carmen, I think I didn't really like anybody. So it was pretty much the solo on that front. And also, I think a lot of the sort of feel of it was it sort of felt like a very very heist movie tropey kind of in a way, like, which for kids that haven't really watched a lot of that type of stuff, it will feel new to them anyway. But I think for me a lot of it was like, this is like familiar ground in a lot of ways, which kind of it didn't really make me want to watch too much more of it, just because it was like I feel like I know where this is gone and where it's going in a way. So I think overall the theme for me as well just wasn't really up my street. But I think if you're really into that type of stuff, this is really going to do the trick for you. So for me personally, I think it's probably going to be like a shaky middle. It's a high shaky. Like I liked what it was doing, but overall thematically, I wasn't really sold by it. It didn't make me want to go into heists all of a sudden. I was still hung up on the morals of it, and it didn't change me that much. But I think it is a solid show. Other than that,
okay. Well, I really enjoyed it. As I said, there's intrigue, a big box tick for me. I didn't really I wasn't too upset by the characters. Player, the guy on the, I do agree he was pretty annoying. But it's nothing that many other cartoons don't have, and I think if you were younger, you probably wouldn't find him annoying. I like the theme. I think it's I know what you mean. Sort of, obviously, there's in a way questionable morals, but it's nothing that hasn't been going on for ages. And I don't think people will be watching it and want to be anything other than like, do the cool stuff. It's like Mission Impossible or Ocean's 11. You don't actually go and want to steal anything afterwards. You just want to do the cool stuff, the like grappling hooks and stuff like that. And I think it has it's nice to have a show that, especially one that's been going for so long, that has a main character that's a female with her own sort of established franchise, and have that still going today. Keep that up, because obviously no matter what your feelings are on it, they do tend to try and put them in place of something that already exists. So rather than making something new or working on something that already exists, that we've had a bit of a phase of trying to use like swap a character, gender swap and things like that. So it's nice to just have something where it's not even an issue.
Yeah,
me mentioning it even seems weird in this situation, but it's nice to have something where you're like, oh, this is cool, it's a good role model in a way. Obviously thievery is not, but if she does thief for the thieves, then there's no honour amongst thieves. We all know that. And you've got to learn it somewhere. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I will watch more. It was intriguing, and they packed loads in a way that didn't ruin the show in any way. It was like, oh, this is good. It's a good pace for saying how much there is in it. So yeah, it's a thumbs up for me.
Oh yeah,
there you go, an up and a middle.
That's good.
That's good. You my friend, are on a bit of a middle streak.
Oh, aye.
So hopefully we can
need something to knock me out of the rut one way or another.
So yeah, hopefully we can sort that in the next couple of weeks. We shall see. Otherwise, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I hope you will join us for more. If you did enjoy it, please feel free to rate and review us. It really helps other people like yourselves find us. And if you have any suggestions or episodes you want us to cover of different shows, or even of this show, or whatever, you just let us know, and you can do so on the 3 Vile Thieves. Vile is the school for thieves that we didn't really mention, but that's what it is, of the internet. Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at ToonJamPod. So get in touch. We'd love to hear what you think. You can also go and get more bonus episodes on our Patreon, and if you want, you can get some merchandise, Toon Jam official merchandise, over on our store, which is bit.ly/Toon Jam shop. You can find it on our socials as well. Otherwise, once again, thank you so much for listening, and until next time, you stay jammy.
Hey everyone, thank you for listening. If you want to help the show keep going, you can be extra jammy by heading over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/toonjampod. Here you can get a shout out on the show or unlock bonus episodes. Ratings and reviews anywhere you listen to the podcast also really help us out. So thank you, and stay jammy.